Hey, so in terms of minimalism, I want to talk about what I stopped buying, or what I started buying a lot less of. And minimalism is something that, really what it comes down to is using less and needing less. So the idea of just only buying what you need and what you're actually going to use, because ultimately we waste a lot. And, one of the big kind of mindset shift for me was that I think experiences are more important than things. So I'd much rather have, let's say if you have the choice between buying a new car or a month or 2 months in a new country, I would always pick the latter, right? The travel and the experiences. A lot of people would pick the car, even though the car is ultimately the same thing. It just gets you from one place to another. So the one thing I stopped buying is I stopped trying to get the new thing, the upgrade. And this is especially true. I think the most common one I found is with phones and laptops. Phones specifically, because everybody, for some reason, they think they need the new iPhone or the new, Galaxy, whatever. They think they need a new one. And every year they bring out new ones, new models, new phones with more cameras and better quality and all this stuff. But the truth is, 99% of us simply don't need that better camera or that bigger screen, But the actual things we do with our phone, which is ultimately check messages, scroll through social media, take the occasional photo, and maybe make some calls, but very rarely. Those things you can do on an iPhone 5 or 4. I mean, you don't even need the 10, let alone the 11 and the 12 and all the, future ones. And so as well, they raise the price every year. And the price of an iPhone now is insane. It's over $1,000 for essentially a phone that does the same thing as all the models before it, just a little bit better and with a new gimmick, a new trick that you don't. It's kind of exciting when you first get it, but then after that, you don't really care. And so yeah, that's what I did. I stopped buying the new thing. So I'm still using an iPhone 8 from many years ago. It's the same one, and if you put a good case and a good screen protector on it, it doesn't break. The screen protector might have cracked and then you just get a new one, but ultimately you don't need to keep on upgrading, getting the brand new model every single year. And essentially all you're doing is just giving money to Apple or to whatever tech company makes the upgrade. So as a minimalist, that's the main thing I stopped buying, was the new upgrade. And so with many of my stuff, even clothing included, I'm using the same stuff, and if it breaks, I just fix it or get a replacement of the same type. So you don't need to constantly get the new one. You can just fix the things you already have that work very well. Clothing's a good example, actually. There's kind of this divide between people who buy sustainable clothing with good fabrics, so cotton, bamboo, that kind of stuff that's going to actually last, and people who buy polyester stuff, which, these cheap polyester clothing, they're normally made in sweatshops in Myanmar or something, and you know the type, right? They break or have holes in them within a few months, and then obviously they're cheap, so you can buy another one easily, but they break or get holes in them within a few months, and then you have to buy another one. And on top of that, it's encouraging in some cases slave labor and things, and they're also not even that good. So in terms of minimalism, I would just recommend getting 1 or 2 good pieces that will actually last a long time, instead of getting replacement ones to keep up with the new trend and the new fashion, which also changes depending on who's posted what to Instagram that month or whatever. So yeah, to summarize, the one thing I stopped buying would be the new upgrades, the new thing, usually with phones and tech. And then I also stopped trying to buy new clothes just to try and keep up with whatever fashion was there on the day. I just buy usually unbranded, no logo, no writing, no text, plain things that work. And it's called a capsule wardrobe, which means that pretty much any piece I own, any piece of clothing I own, goes with any other piece of clothing I own. I don't have to coordinate, color coordinate. I don't have to think does this go with this top? Does this go with this? No, it all goes together. They're all very neutral kind of pastel colors. They look good with anything, and it's easy. It saves that brain power. I don't have to worry about color coordinating from a massive wardrobe and worrying about which designer brand and which logo goes with which other logo. And I think it's a waste of time. And ultimately, doesn't really achieve anything. All it does is, in some cases, you think you're getting validation by wearing certain brands, when ultimately you're not. It really doesn't matter what you wear. As long as it looks fairly decent, then, who cares what brand it is? So yeah, that's my opinion about what I stopped buying, basically, as a minimalist. So let me know what you think, and check out my other videos about minimalism. Make sure to subscribe.